thing. You might ask, well, what are all these other lines here? Those are EMAs, and I'll discuss what I use those for. So basically, what happens is when you have a candle that goes above the 945 and it's and not a wick, but an actual body that closes above, that means you have an uptrend. And this is a 15-minute chart, so that can it's a more solid signal, and it should be an uptrend all throughout the day. More solid signal, and it should be an uptrend all throughout the day. And I'll discuss.
Sorry for the echo.
So basically, what
Alrighty.
yeah, so there's news at 10 a.m. I'm trying to figure out how to really even play this day, to be honest, guys. I mean, how do you even play this? You could take the probability trade like that, SPY is dropping this amount. I mean, SPY is down 3.4%. Could it drop even lower? Yeah, it can. The probability of it dropping 5%, it's not as often. Look at that 10 o'clock candle. Wow, we're actually getting bear calls so far. Wow. That's the 10 o'clock news. Comes back up. What does it do? Good morning, Brandon. How's it doing? How's it going? How's it doing? Okay. Yeah, I'm just waiting it out. I'm honestly thinking day trade is going to be the way to go for now, till we get a more calming environment. Swing trade is just so freaking hard right now. There's just no doubt about it. It's just too hard to swing trade with tariffs. I need this to just kind of calm down. This has been probably the worst swing trading environment I've seen in a very long time. The worst I've seen. So we're actually getting bear calls. It could easily fake us out and go up. Me personally, I'd rather take the day off than try bear calls when you're down 3%. To me, that just doesn't make, like, what if you just get a probability dead cat bounce? You're kind of screwed. I mean, 3.5%. I was even showing, if you go to SPX, I mean, look how far out of the money you can go here. But I'm not going to place my trades just based on this alone. But if you go to the zero DTE 3rd April, 53.45. Wow, you can go 53.45. The price is 54.60. Yeah, that's a 100-point drop from there. So, I mean, just from that alone, I mean, a 100-point drop, that's another like 2 or 3%, I think. Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't want to base my trades like, oh, I don't think you can go lower and lower and lower. I can always just, honestly, the first week of April is just a dead week. I don't like this week at all. I lost on Tuesday. I did do bear calls on Wednesday. I did get some money on that. But, yeah, you can, absolutely, Bulldozer. Yeah, welcome to the stream. Mr. Unbets, welcome. I'm going to just tweet out that I'm live here. Yeah, let's just wait it out and see. Do we get a lower Keltner channel touch on the 15-minute, the 5-minute, something like that? Do we drop down 4%? Like, if we drop down over 4%, can we look to take a probability trade? I'm definitely more leaning towards bull puts because, I mean, we're down 20 bucks, guys. How do you play that? Like, maybe you can scalp it to the downside. SPY is currently projecting a move to 540 within the next 6 hours as the current rate of selling, followed by potential rebound forward 555 after the recent Black Swan event. SPY in buy zone though. Yeah, if it goes to 540, I think that's a good probability trade. I mean, we're not trying to just do naked calls, so we're doing a credit spread where basically we're saying we don't think it goes down much lower than that. It can go lower, but that's all we're saying, and that's why I really love credit spreads. You don't have to nail the exact timing of this. Lynn G, welcome back. How's your travels been? You just went to Thailand, right?
What's up, son? I wouldn't base the trade off the fact that it's down 3, but I wouldn't bet going against it much lower. Always, uh,
Yeah, and that's how I'm thinking about it because I'd be pretty pissed I take a loss because I'm basing it on a bias of me saying I don't think it can go lower. There's no system in that. Well, obviously, SPY typically does not drop honestly more than 2%, and we're at 4%. But what's making this not drop 6%, right? Who the heck knows? This could be just one of the worst days in the history of the stock market. And I mean, it could. If we go back to COVID days, I mean, let's see how big those drops were. I mean, that's the only days I can really short term look at how bad these drops were. 3%, 3%, 3, 4% we had there. So most of these drops, I mean, this one had an 8% drop almost. 5% gain, 5% drop, 10% drop, 10, 11% drop. I mean, are we at that point in time? It's hard to say. Are we going to have that point where, yeah, we're dropping more than 5%?
hey Coco. Um, hi there. I'm so far from stocks and stuff. Just wanted to ask, what do you about this drop? Should we panic?
If you have high quality companies, there's no reason to panic because in the history of time, high quality companies eventually go up. Just sell cover calls.
Is my voice a little softer? Let me look at the.
Is my voice a little softer? I can't really tell. Maybe the volume should be up. Maybe, I don't know. Had the flu and was so sick during the crazy earthquake. Wow. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I don't know if it's the audio or something, but I think everyone's kind of like trying to figure out this market, to be honest. So these lines on my chart bulldozer, they're EMAs, Keltner channels. Honestly, we can get rid of all this. We can just do straight price action today, and you can easily see. I mean, does anyone want to risk bear calls? I mean, we are getting the signal for bear calls. If this ends at 10:15, does anyone want to take bear calls? Um, Man, that's pretty gutsy, right? We get bear calls on this day and then just plummets goes up. So I don't know. It's up to you guys. You are following the system if you're taking bear calls right here. Um, I really, honestly, anybody that takes bear calls here, I have a lot of like respect for your guts right here. Like, I'm trying to short spy when it's down almost 4% is pretty, that's pretty insane. I don't even know how to, like, how do you short that? I was thinking about doing futures today, but here's how I could do it. I can do the top of the middle orb is my stop loss, right? The middle orb is your stop. So if it does decide to come back up, I could short it here if it comes back in the range, and then my stop loss is right here. So at least at least for futures, there's a small risk right here, and then the reward could be amazing, right? If it just keeps going down. So I could short this on futures if I wanted to. It looks like we're getting bear calls though. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the system says that, but honestly, when you do drop this much, I don't think 15-minute orb can predict the trend for the day. Um, because there's breakers in this there's breakers that can unleash where if it drops too much, it's gonna like they're gonna release a breaker where they buy this up just to calm this movement down. Obviously, if there's like a COVID pandemic, that's a different story. But is tariffs a pandemic to cause the market to crash? I don't know. Um, who knows? Yeah, absolutely. Bull puts are definitely better. I got wrecked 2 days ago doing bear calls, and I seen price just V shape up. I've seen it happen. This can do that in a blink of a second. So it's more like, do you wait for a double orb, which is it could happen. So price can come back up. Wait for a double orb. Are you are you gutsy to take bull puts against the trend, or the smart thing to do is just to kind of lay low for now? Because I was thinking about it, but I mean, look here, right at the bell. I mean, we already dropped from 540. We dropped another $3 here. So if you took it right at the bell, you probably got really far out of the money. But if it keeps dropping, it's not going to matter. Your stop loss is going to get hit fast. So I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do. Yeah, it's going to do. I mean, yeah. So now we're down. We're almost down 4% on the day. Man, I've never seen a market like this in a very long time. It's reminding me of COVID vibes. Like it really is. What's Tesla doing? Trying to, is it just Tesla's actually okay? That's down 5%. Nvidia is down 5%. My TTD is probably down a lot because it's a smaller price. 10% it's down. Wow, I'm going to be holding that for years. Cover calls for probably 5 years of my life is what it's looking like for that. Cover calls forever. Maybe I'll average down. I'll average down like 3 months from now. I'll probably do an average. I'll probably just put it in my retirement account at this point. Buy shares every 3 months, lower the average. That's the only thing I can think of. I'm definitely not going to do any some of these pennies anymore. It just doesn't make sense. YHC is holding up kind of well compared to what everything else is doing for Pennyland. Yeah, look at that massive ORB there. Let's see. Yeah, so I have an average of 72.70, but I did lots of cover calls, so I'm guessing my average is now like 60. I want to say it's like 69 or something. I just did another $1 premium for 16 May. So I gotta wait till that. I'm just gonna keep every month and 2 weeks. I'll probably just keep lowering it by $1. We'll see. I'm just so over it. I need to stick to just day trading in this environment. Kind of got caught off guard. So I'm gonna day trade. Yeah, I mean you just gotta be really picky with credit spreads because if you take a loss, it freaking sucks too. Um, yeah, we're gonna hit a breaker here soon. We're down 4%. We're hitting the new lows here. You guys do see pre-market lows at 542. That could be really strong support. That could be a liquidity grab where it just wanted to go to the pre-market lows. But if it goes through that, ouch. I don't think it's going to go through that. That's pretty big lows. You see that long lower wick too? Like it shot up when it hit that area. We'll see. Someone said we're not in a typical market. I mean, market crash and recession are more likely than usual. Yeah, this is more of a hands-off kind of market now. Just kind of just observe. Jelly Bean, you can do whatever the heck you want to do. I'm just telling you what I'm. First of all, I'm not in a trade right now. If you're in a futures trade, that is what the system is telling you to do: is short the short the thing. I'm talking about cover credit spreads, which means I can win in 3 directions. But you do what you want to do. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. I'm pointing out support levels right here, and it's kind of acting as support. Market's bearish till it's not, right? Right in here, we got jinxed out. This was a downtrend, and it actually went up. It can easily do that. Doesn't make sense to really short the market when it's down 4%. I mean, you could try. That's why you want to have a stop loss in the middle of the orb. But yeah, don't be that person. I'm telling you, don't be that person that is a know-it-all. Thinks that they think they know what the market's gonna do. You don't know what the market's gonna do. Nobody knows what the market's gonna do. We're taking probability trades. But yeah, it's downtrend. I'm clearly saying it's downtrend right here. Bear calls. I want to short it. But in a typical market environment, I would short this. But it doesn't make sense to short it when you're down 4% and then the breaker could trigger and this just skyrockets up. That just doesn't make sense. All right, so right here we're hitting that lower. It looks like it wanted to do a liquidity grab here. I think it just wants to do a liquidity grab here at 542. Might not be a bad future trade there. And then it shoots up. Can you look at DMN? If DMN goes up, we'll go to 24/6. Yeah, I don't know about DMN, to be honest. I mean, isn't that thing like a penny? Yeah, it's not going to go to 24 cents. Like, you're looking at EMA 5. Did it go up some? Wow. Went up 15% on this day. Yeah, it's going up to EMA 5. Maybe reject there. The problem is it's been under 10 cents for so long that they got to do the reverse split. So you kind of don't want to be in that. Okay, I think that's going to be the liquidity grab. All right, so we're coming down 4% on SPY. Got a little too many lines on. I want to make it more cleaner here. Good morning, Scott. Yeah, 2.4 cents. Yeah, maybe. But that's not what the EMA 5 is at. Sir, Peace of Lover, thanks for the follow. Yeah, so if we go to vertical, let's go to SPX. Just to give you guys an idea how far they're letting us take this out. You can get a 20-cent right now for the 53.40, 53.45. So that is 53.40. That's 100-point. That's another 100-point drop right now. 53.40, 53.45. If you look at those lines, 53.40, 53.45. If you go from here to here, it's another 2% drop almost. That's for SPX. So, I mean, that's quite a big drop. So that would be roughly a 6%, 5% drop on SPY would definitely hit your stop loss for sure. Yeah, the only really thing I can tell you guys, honestly, is if I really think this is the liquidity grab where it just wanted to fill the pre-market lows and then go up. But other than that, it doesn't really make sense to take bear calls because that's acting as strong support. And then the problem is tomorrow, guys, when I've been backtesting a lot, if you look at tomorrow, there is a... So we got into 10:30. There's no more news the rest of the day. Tomorrow we got JPOW. I mean, it's just a never-ending thing. We got JPOW, and I've seen JPOW. I'm going to take that day off because JPOW can make the market double orb all throughout the day. It doesn't even matter what time frame he speaks. It could be at 10 o'clock, 11, 2. So, I mean, this is just a really bad week for credit spreads. Let's just be honest. This is more for future trading. Yeah, this is definitely more for future trading. Yeah, we can look at, so if you go wider, good question, Life. So if you go wider on the spreads, it's going to cost more. Just remember, 5 width is $500, 10 is $1,000 a contract. So let's say that one strike I wanted. Thanks, Jesus, for the follow. Appreciate it. So let's say if I did a 15 width, I mean, I've never heard of people going much higher than that. That would be insane, I think. We can go to all strikes because there's going to be lots of premium. So if you do it at 15 width, yeah, you can go way farther out. Let's say you wanted to do this one. That's a 10 cent on the bid. Let's just look for the 20 cent on the bid. You could do this one for 50 to 85, 50. So your sell leg is at 5,300. You don't want anything to get in your sell leg. So 5,300. So now, I mean, look at how much farther out you can go now. 5,300. That's on a 15 width. So this is your sell leg. Absolutely nuts. So now you're way down here compared to way up here. So you could, I mean, that's insane to me. So you had the 53.45 on my sell leg on my last one, and now we have a 5,300 sell leg. That's nuts. So what is the difference of that drop? That's another 0.87% drop. Now, how much am I risking for that? So if I put the same premium, you know, if I wanted the same premium on a 15 width at 0.20 and I do one contract, this is if you want to just be really safe. You're risking $1,500 to make 20 bucks though. If you got massive accounts, yeah, I can see this being a very nice probable strategy. It's just a lot of money you're going to risk. But here's the thing though, if you increase the premium, then yeah, you're going to be closer to here. Let's say for a 15 width, you're kind of actually looking at a 60 cents to make the equivalent of that 20 cent 5 width. So if you do a 60 cents, you're kind of looking at this one to make the equivalent. So if you do 60 cents, let's just do 60 cents here. You'll make $60 for a $1,500 account. That's the same for the 5 width I'm doing. So, and that strike is, this is the 53.30 leg, 53.30 leg. So then we actually are a little closer, or at least a little below it actually still. There's your 53.30 on a 60 cent. So you guys see the difference, a 20 cent. Now, how much farther out can you go? I mean, is this too good to be true? Can we go 20 width? Is this just too good to be true? Is the question we all should be asking. 20 cents. We can get 20 cents right here on the mid for a 52.75 sell leg. That takes us out down here. I mean, are we just looking at something that's just too good to be true? Is SPX gonna hit 52.75 on a 20 width? I don't know how much farther out it's gonna let you go. 25 width. Because it just seems to, I mean, look at this. This is nuts. So I can keep going. Looks like this is about the max. Let's try a 30. See if it's letting us go even farther out. You gotta be kidding me. We can do a 20 cent almost at the 52.50 mark. Wow. Obviously, here's the problem though. You're risking a lot of capital for very, I mean, yeah, you would want to like switch your if you make your premium as high as the 20 cents, then you're kind of, yeah, and in the analysis, the higher the width you can go, the farther out of the money you can go. Yeah, you're getting the same thing for yeah, and you were actually a little lower than the 5 width actually. But as my observation though, that premium does move a little faster, which is why you're getting it. So the stop loss is a little harder to judge by because you got to have a stop loss. I don't know which stop loss you should use for that though. That's up for the imagination. Do you want to do a 300, 400, 500? I don't know if it's going to work the same for a 5 width. It's going to be a little more volatile. Just keep that in mind. But yeah, I mean, you saw a 30 width. If you wanted to do a 30 width at 20 cents, SPX would have to drop like 200 points. I mean, that's insane, right? Absolutely insane. Did I sell bond? Yeah, I sold bond. I got tired of holding something like that. Yeah, so I mean, your stop loss, even though your strike is so far out of the money, your stop loss can get hit. That 300% fast too, right? Repo, thanks for the follow. So even though it doesn't go to your strike, it can still hit that stop. If it just keeps going down in a short amount of time frame. But as you gotta understand the reason the premium it gives you more premium, but it's also going to move faster than a 5 width. So just keep that in mind too. So your stop could get hit faster than a 5 width. Is when we back tested in the Discord. We did a 10 width back test. The 10 width got hit faster than a 5 width, but obviously the 10 width is always going to be a safer strike if you just want to diamond hand it, you know. Alrighty, let's put some EMAs up. Keltner channels. Looks like we are holding this liquidity zone. It's okay if it goes a little under, but we are kind of holding it for a bit. Alrighty, guys. Looks like that's the jump that we're kind of looking for. I am confused. It went below the lower order as per your strategy. Yeah, this is a weird day. There's going to be some days where, I mean, here's we'll get rid of some lines so you can see. Yeah, it did go below the orb, but it doesn't mean if you're dropping 3%, almost 4%, to me that's just kind of like whatever you want to do because anything can happen at that point. This is not your certain ordinary day. I mean, look at this day right here. This is when I lost. We dropped bear calls here, and then it just went straight up. Today can easily do that. I mean, just hitting a breaker, it could easily do that. So to me, it's like to me it feels more like a futures day. Trade a one direction. If price comes up, yeah, that's how I'm feeling about it. I mean, if you're following the system, yeah, you can do bear calls, but it doesn't mean that the system's going to win all the time either. Yeah, if you go higher width, you can go way more out of the money. Just on the examples that I just showed you, higher the width, farther out of the money you can go. But if you do, you just gotta remember every 5 width is another $500. So a 10 width is $1,000 contract. If you do 20 cents, you're spending 1,000 to make about 20 bucks. If you're trying to do the same premium. So if you do the same premium on a 5 width and the same premium on a 10 width, you will go farther out of the money. All right. Yeah, you saw me do a 30 width. We went like another extra 100 points out, but it's costing you what, was it like 15 to, yeah, 3 grand for 20 bucks. I wouldn't go that far out. Alrighty. Yeah, you would have to do more premium if you want to get the same as the 5 width. So you could do the 5 width. You could do 60 cents on a 15 width if you wanted to, and you would get the 60 bucks, which would be the same as a 5 width on a 20 center if you do 3 contracts of that, and that'll cost you the same 1,500. All right, yeah. You would just have to up your premium. Now, as far as how that works, the premium does move faster. So your stop loss on a 60 cents, 120, 180, if you're doing the 300%, should be 240. I personally recommend going a little higher. I've been having more success with 400 or 500, just to give you that kind of that cool-off period if it goes against you. Because credit spreads, the way we're playing them, we're designed to hold them all day, so we want theta to kick in. Yeah, you should stay in the. Honestly, you should stay in the trade as long as you want. I think it's just the stop losses that is the hardest part with this strategy, right? A lot of these strikes that we're choosing is probably not going to go in our strikes, honestly, if you had diamond hands. But who wants to just risk that, you know? One bad trade and then blows your whole account. Yeah, so Friday, guys, I don't like Friday at all. So it's either, I don't know. Yeah, so if you did a 60 cent on a 15Y, um, you know, if you times that 60 times 5, you're looking at a 3.0. Yeah, I think we're going to come up. I like how that we hit that liquidity zone. That's a pre-market low retest to back up. What do you guys think? Some basic ICT liquidity zones is what it looks like to me. Yeah, but you could try it out live. Just keep in mind that yeah, you'll find out that your premium is going to move much faster though. Um, just keep that in mind because we back tested a 10 width and a 5 width. The 10 width hit a 300% stop using the premium adjustments. Like, you know, if I can get a 10 cent, then a 10 width should be able to, or if I can get a 20 cent, then the 10 width should be able to get a 40 cent because remember, you double it. So a 10 width is a 40 cent is the same as a 5 width 20 cent. And then that 40 cent actually hit the stop loss 300% a little faster than the 20 cent. So there is pros and cons to it. There's not like, yeah, I can go so far out, but do keep in mind, since your strikes are, you know, your buy strike is like really down, and you have a short, like it's like really, whereas a 5 width is like this, it's very tight. But yeah, if you're gonna diamond hand it, that seems like a really good strategy. Going that far out of the money, like seems like almost too good to be true at the same time. Like, come on, you can get 200 points that far out of the money. It seems a little too good to be true. Not gonna lie, right? Alrighty, well, for my contrarian play, I do think this is a great setup, guys. We're coming into a demand zone. We hit that liquidity zone. I like that we're holding this area. Seems pretty solid right here. If you wanted to take bull puts here, we are holding this massive demand zone. We are down, you know, a 4%. I think price just kind of consolidates now or just rips the bears' faces. What do you guys think? That's my my thesis for this. I'm looking at a 53.40. The only thing is because I know I'm not trading tomorrow, so if I'm going to take a contrarian trade, this is the day I would take it just because it's so far down. Can you get a 53.35, 53.40? I don't know. Are we hitting an EMA 5? Yeah, we're hitting an EMA 5 right now. This might be rejection. Yeah, so we're down a lot. We hit a liquidity zone. We hit the pre-market low. Maybe algos wanted to fill that before we go up. If you take the 53.35, 53.40, when we label this on SPX, that was our strike. This is actually got a better strike. 53.40 is down there. And that is another 2% drop. All right, that's another 2% drop. So we're already down 4%. Are we going to go down 6% is basically kind of what we're looking at right now. Yeah, I'm looking at that one. If I wanted to, because I'm not trading tomorrow, if I was going to take a shot at it, it's risky, but it makes sense based on what I'm seeing besides orb, it makes sense to me. We hit that liquidity zone. I mean, the breakers can come on in and really just pump this up at the same time. We're at a bid of 10, ask of... Let me see, guys. I think that's a good solid trade. 53.35, 53.40. As long as this is not like a recession, I don't see how we're going to drop 6%. You know, as long as it's not a recession. I'm going to try that one. Because I'm not trading tomorrow, so since I'm not trading tomorrow, I'm just going to take a probability trade and see if I can get a win. And then I'm going to come back Monday. There's nothing really to do on this day other than take a probability trade. Like, there's nothing to do on this day. All right, so I took the 53.35, 53.40 probability trade on that liquidity zone. I'm going to hit close selected and go for an 80-cent stop loss. Higher risk, not part of the system, but how do you play this system when SPY's dropping 4%, right? Like, how do you play the system on that? You don't. It's not wise to play the system when SPY drop 4%. I've seen these things rip bears' faces off. As long as it's not a recession, we should be fine. 1.20. If it is, then we just probably should not be trading this market and just give it like a month off or something if it really is a recession. All right, so I bought the 50, or I sold the 53.35, 53.40. That's about a 6% drop on SPY. I don't know how this is going to work, but I do like that liquidity zone. All right, so let's do the stop there. Because I'm not going to be trading tomorrow, so since I'm not going to be trading tomorrow, I'm just going to get this trade in, and then I'll take the day off tomorrow because I'm not trading Palo Day. I'm not going to risk that. Yeah, I filled it. SPY dropped over 4%. I think we stable. So I'll take a probability trade for full puts. Yeah, I'll take it and I'll see what it does. There's not really anything else to do on that. My stop loss filled for 0.20. And stop is 1.20. I'm hoping that liquidity zone holds. You see how we're at it again? Right there's that liquidity zone. Hopefully it holds it. If it doesn't hold, then we still have a lot of buffer for our stop loss. So my SPX trade is way down here, 53.40. So you see my strike. I just care about the sell leg. So that's a 100%. That's a 100-point drop. If you look at SPX, how many points have we dropped? We dropped 228 points. Is that what it is? Yeah, 228. So we dropped quite a bit. So we'll see. Higher risk trade, but I'm going kind of in my motions on this one because I just don't see us dropping that much. And then also, I'm not playing tomorrow, so I'm just not. I'm not playing a J Powell day. If you guys look at J Powell, he has tomorrow's just insane. It's not even a fun day. You got Fed Chair Powell speaks at 11:25, so you're getting in credit spreads really late. Double orbs are probably going to happen tomorrow. If this don't work, then I'll take a break from credit spreads for a month and just stick to futures because this is just too chaos of an environment. If we drop over 5%, that's just chaos to me. Wouldn't make sense. That's insane to me. As far as news, we've got everything out of the way. We have no more news. 12 o'clock on. We're golden on news. I did a 0.20 fill. I guess I could have got, yeah, I could have probably got another strike lower, but we'll see. I put it in the Discord alerts right here. If you look at Discord alerts, I filled for the 53.35, 53.40. My stop is 1.20. Filled for the 53.40, 53.35 for 0.20. All right, I'm just going to call that a day. We'll see what we do from there. We'll see what we do from there. Any kind of move up will definitely help us. Hopefully it calms down. You just need like any kind of calming down. If it calms down, we're golden. Just hold this out for 2. There's our low there. We're not going to leave that. It looks like it wants to retest the lows. So like that right there was a nice move up. Comes back up here. Comes back down. Maybe that's that retest the bottom that we wanted to get. All right, guys. As far as that, I'm going to look for some swing trades throughout the day. Started seeing success gain for stocks RSI below 40 and price above 200 SMA. Nice, Cameron. Yeah, let me know how that goes if you're in the Discord. Nice job, Tansen. To me, it's a probability get day. This is no system day. This is just, hey, I just don't think price goes lower. I think price kind of stabilizes. I think we kind of consolidate. Maybe we get back inside of orb. Who knows, right? It's hard to tell what today's going to do. I think if you have a nice stop loss, you can weather the storm. Hold this for 2 hours. If it's just kind of at this same area, then time decay will eat this up. We'll see. All right, guys. I'll catch you guys later. I'm going to do some research on some swing trades, see what I can do there. YHC. What is that one doing? What? Yeah, it's kind of just showing there. NFT, thanks for the follow. If you guys haven't subscribed on my Twitch, you guys can for free on Amazon Prime. You get free ads. I highly recommend it. If you hate ads, it's free if you have an Amazon account. Helps my streams out too. Q Mike, thanks for the follow. Much love, much love. All right, what is our? Do we have a Keltner channel? It's way down there. Hopefully we don't hit that Keltner channel. All right, guys. I'll catch you guys later. I'll be watching this. Hopefully it does get that bounce up. Not really much else to do on this day. Sissy, thanks for the follow. Much love. But yeah, if this day don't work out, I'll take a break from credit spreads and we'll focus more on futures because then we are in some very uncertain times if we drop 6% or over 5%. We're already dropping 4% right now. That's some very uncertain times. So definitely need to be careful dropping that kind.